We're going to preview every single game on Sunday afternoon from a fantasy perspective and give you guys a couple of guys to start, sit, or consider for each one of these games. And it's a showdown. So, we're going to stir this up and face off because we're competitive. And we know you are too, the Browns and the Chiefs, Marcus.
I'm going to say you got to start Kareem Hunt this week. I mean, first off, it's a revenge game, even though they played in the playoffs last year, but we'll ignore that. Don't worry about it. We know that the Browns want to use their running backs heavily. 50%, more than 50% of their touches last year went to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And the Chiefs last year, third most receiving yards allowed to running backs. So we know that's a big part of Kareem Hunt's game, and I think he's going to get a lot of work on Sunday.
If you're a guy like me who drafted Baker Mayfield in round 12, I say start him. Or if you're streaming quarterbacks, I think Baker Mayfield's going to end up being a top 10 fantasy quarterback because of how he played last year, how the way he ended the season, the way they played in the preseason. Then he gets Odell Beckham Jr. back. To me, if they have any chance of winning this game, Baker Mayfield has to have a huge day. I expect him to be a top 10 guy, like I said. Beg. Don't make me look foolish out here, please.
Don't do it, Baker. We'll look elsewhere to Packers and Saints. The game moved to Jacksonville due to Hurricane Ida. Florio, you're worried about a first-round pick in this one.
Yeah, beware of Aaron Jones. The Saints last year allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to running backs, and they allowed just one top 12 running back against them all year long. Jones did go for 16.5 against the Saints defense, but we saw a stud running back disappoint against a great run defense last night. Jones might be the next in line to do it. You got to start him, but beware.
I know Jameis Winston is a guy people might be streaming at times this year, but I think in week one is a time when you've got to sit him. That Packer defense is not one to be messed with. I really wouldn't take the chance. I think for the Saints, it's going to be a heavy dose of Alvin Kamara. Maybe we see some dump-offs, but I'm not expecting big yardage totals for Jameis in week one.
So beware and a sit from that game. Let's go to Miami and New England, the debut of Mac Jones, and that's the reason I have the Dolphins defense as a must start. They were number one in the entire league in turnovers a year ago. They were top 10 in sacks. And yes, Mac has always played well, even after Tua's injury a couple of years ago at Alabama. They were teammates. They'll talk about that a lot on the broadcast. But it's a rookie playing against a really good defense, called by someone with a lot of knowledge about Josh McDaniels' offense. I say start that D.
Well, on the other side, I'd say beware of Myles Gaskin. We like the Dolphins running backs because generally they're a one-back team. So we do get a chance to see whether or not Gaskin is going to be a three-down back. But this is a New England defense that got a lot of people back. They're rebuilding this whole thing, and you wonder if it's going to look closer to the 2019 edition that really shut down opposing running games. They're also tough on pass-catching backs last season. So this is one where I'm a little bit nervous about starting Myles Gaskin.
More running backs, the Broncos and the Giants. Both teams have question marks at running back, Florio.
I'm starting Javonte Williams in this one. Look, the Giants allowed the 6th most catches and 9th most fantasy points to running backs last year. I love Williams' talent. The only question is the playing time he's going to see. But the Broncos are acting like they trust him a lot. They held him out of the final preseason game and not Melvin Gordon. And Vic Fangio said recently he's earned that trust, and we're not at all against playing him in any situation in any time of the game. So I am not against playing Javonte Williams in week one in my starting lineup.
Yeah, for me, guys, it's going to be beware. Beware of Saquon Barkley. He looks awesome. He looks healthy. But you're going against a vantage Denver Broncos defense that's going to be completely healthy. And they've only gotten more stout. And so for me, it's his first game coming off an ACL. You're going to start him. You probably drafted him again in the top first round, maybe the beginning of the second round. But I'm a little nervous. I got to see how they're going to utilize him. I got to see how comfortable he is running the ball. Is he willing to put that foot in the ground? Has he been tackled yet? No, right? So we got to make sure all those things go into play before I'm comfortable saying that he's a starting player.
So let's get to some more Sunday showdowns here. Because the Steelers and Bills highlight the early slate. Do you trust Naji Harris in this game, Florio?
Yeah, I think he is a must-start option in his first NFL game. The Bills last year allowed nearly 100 rushing yards per game, and they gave up a touchdown to a running back in 12 different games last year. Harris is the clear bell cow and was actually the most targeted player by Ben Roethlisberger in the preseason. So not only can he get the job done on the ground, he may give you some catches too.
On the other side, I'll throw a sleeper tag on Gabe Davis, who had the most receiving yards from Josh Allen in the preseason. And for a guy who is wide receiver 79 in terms of DraftKings right now, he was top 20 in receiving touchdowns a year ago. There's going to be a lot of attention on the guys on the outside for Buffalo from a really good Steelers defense. But I say, hey, don't quite sleep on Gabe Davis. Let's go to the Seahawks and the Colts. Carson Wentz, good to go. But Marcus, you've got your eye on a Seahawk.
I do, on Chris Carson, and I say you might want to beware this week. I get it. If you don't have any other options, you got to start him, but that Colts run defense was tough last season. They were ranked number 2 in the NFL at the end of the year last year. Only 3 times last year did a running back have more than 65 yards on the ground against the Colts. 2 of those players was Derrick Henry, so I guess basically one player did it twice. Either way, what I'm telling you is this is not a great matchup, so you might not get good numbers from Chris Carson.
Before we go to mine real quick, our deep sleeper, but Alex Will, give me Chris Carson back. I was just desperate. I was desperate. All right, here we go. Deep sleeper, Jack Doyle. Now let me tell you why. Carson Wentz loves throwing to tight ends. Okay, T.Y. Hilton's banged up. They're going to run the ball, yes, but Jack Doyle is a guy that you can see here is going to score touchdowns. When they get in that red zone, expect Carson Wentz to feed him the ball. I think he's going to have a huge day. And then Alex, I'm going to text you. This is our producer, Alex. Just go ahead and we got to veto the trade. If Rank's watching, if you're watching Rank, veto the trade. I was like sleep deprived or something. It was bad. It was a horrible trade, and don't let it go through.
MJD literally lobbying against his own trade that we all got notifications for. We're going to have to break this down and flesh it out fully. I know Wilk's going to want to have this discussion on air as well, so we can get to y'all's fantasy situation. Hey, let's go to fantasy with San Francisco traveling to Detroit for week 1, and I say you start Raheem Mostert. Start him until you can't anymore. I want this man in this offense on the field. I know that there were injuries. It's week 1. If you're worried about injuries, he plays running back in the National Football League. Yes, it could go wrong at any point, but he's good. Trey Lance or no Trey Lance, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Lance package coming up this weekend. Detroit allowing the most fantasy points in the league to running backs last year. New team, yes, but I still love Mostert in this one.
Here we go, a sleeper for all you guys out there that are kind of struggling for that flex position. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's going to have a huge day. Jared Goff, I've called the Rams game for a long time. When he finds a guy that he loves, he is going to throw and feed the ball to him. St. Brown is going to do well in the slot. He's a strong receiver, goes and gets the ball. I think he's going to have a big day. And again, Detroit's going to be playing from behind. Expect this young man to get a ton of touches. I can see him having 100 yards receiving and possibly a touchdown in this game.
Oh, a lot of stars on display in Nashville. Our Sunday showdowns continue with the Cardinals and the Titans. We got star power galore in this one, but Marcus, you've got a somewhat under-the-radar starter to spotlight.
Yeah, you got to start Ryan Tannehill this week. And this is a guy who I felt like was being underdrafted a ton in fantasy leagues this offseason. I mean, look, the fact is he's been very comfortable in this offense for the last couple of years since taking over for Marcus Mariota, and I don't think they're going to change anything fundamentally because he has been so good. But now he's got more weapons. A.J. Brown on one side, Julio Jones on the other. Plus, now for your defense, you got to pick your poison. Nobody saw more stacked boxes last year than Derrick Henry. Don't think that's going to happen this year. So Ryan Tannehill's going to have a good game, I think, but he's going to make everybody around him that much better too.
You know what? There's been a lot of trash talk about this Titans defense. I'm going to say they're a sleeper this week, though. You add Bud Dupree. You add Janoris Jenkins. 2 guys that can get after the quarterback, and you already have who we see here getting a sack in Jeffrey Simmons. To me, I think this defense is going to be much improved, especially with the additions of Julio Jones and to the Titans offense. Expect them to be playing from a lead a lot, and they can pin their ears back and rush the quarterback. I think they're going to have a big game this Sunday.
Nice outlook from the Titans for MJD. Let's go to the Jags and the Texans. We talked plenty of Trevor Lawrence this week, but who else are you starting, Marcus?
James Robinson is a must-start here. I mean, unfortunately, we had the Travis Etienne injury during the preseason, but with him gone, and Robinson's back to being the undisputed RB1. I'm not so worried about Carlos Hyde in that offense. There's not going to be a lot of chances, I think, must-start opportunities for Jaguars running backs. As MJD mentioned, this team will probably be playing from behind a lot. But look, this is one of them. It's a Texans defense that was bad last year, might be even worse this year. So this is a chance to really lean on J-Rob early in the season.
Marcus, the Texans defense being bad, you say? Then they will need to throw, you say. That's why I believe it's starting Brandon Cooks in this matchup. A solid flex. Maybe you're in a spot where you lost Gus Edwards in your flex in a competitive league. Top 20 wideout 5 of the last 6 years. He played the Jags twice last year. He averaged over 23 points in that game. In those 2 games, start Brandon Cooks, I say. From there we go to the Vikings visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. What are you doing here, Florio?
I'm saying beware of Joe Burrow in this one. Look, he had that gruesome knee injury in week 11 last season. He only threw one pass in the preseason, only played one drive actually, and he has spoke this summer about the challenges of coming back from a severe injury like the one that he had suffered. So if you're debating between Burrow and another quarterback, I would go with the other option, and if Burrow looks good this week, then you just enjoy him the rest of the season.
Well, I'm gonna go with Kirk Cousins as a start this week. I'm expecting a ton of points in this game, and I think Kirk Cousins is gonna throw the ball around a lot, get his receivers involved. Maybe even I had Tyler Conklin as kind of a deep sleeper, crazy start, so maybe he gets involved too. By the way, Kirk Cousins could be a very nice streamer to start the year. I mean, he's got the Bengals here, he's got the Cardinals, Seahawks, Lions, Panthers, and Cowboys, all by week 8. So early on in the season, this might be a chance to kind of use him as a nice streaming option.
So we got some rookies there. A few more problems, but Maurice is just saying wait on a couple of them. Let's get to a couple more. Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, popular picks in DFS this week. Where else are we starting in this game, Marcus?
I'm starting Jalen Hurts in this game, and he's a guy that I was really big on this fantasy draft season. I tried to draft him in as many spots as I could, and this is one of the reasons why. He's got a great opportunity. I mean, all the great things I said about Devontae Smith's opportunity really apply to Jalen Hurts as well. But on top of it, we know Hurts has that rushing upside. The Falcons gave up 6 rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks last year. So I think whether it's with his arm or with his legs, Jalen Hurts is going to find a way to score some fantasy points this week.
Just taking the opportunity to say it, from Jalen Hurts to Hayden Hurst, I say start him. And it's not to suggest that, hey, fade Ridley or Pitts or anyone else. I just see a points bonanza in this game that creates space for Hayden Hurst to score. Because if you're streaming tight ends, that's really what you're looking for. Over 50 catches a year ago, I think it's a good spot to throw Hayden Hurst in your lineup if you need a tight end. Let's go to the Jets and the Panthers. New York's going to be without Jamison Crowder in this one, MJD.
Yeah, I'm going to go sleeper, deep sleeper almost, Zach Wilson. I mean, he's played lights out throughout the preseason. We know he has Corey Davis. We know that this defense has struggled a little bit, so they're going to have to score points. But I love the offensive system that he's in. It fits him. I expect him to have a huge game. I expect him to have a huge game against the Carolina Panthers defense that struggled. I want to say Marcus said they were 31st last year against the pass.
I like it, MJD. And on the opposite side of that, I'm saying start Robbie Anderson. He had the 4th highest target share amongst receivers last year. He was the most targeted player by Sam Darnold in the preseason and in their 2 years with the Jets. Just targets for days here for Robbie Anderson, and that's a great opportunity for him to pick on this young Jets secondary in the rare double revenge game.
Double revenge, love it. Let's go last but not least. It's the Chargers against the Washington football team, and Maurice, you've got a sleeper.
Yes, the Chargers defense. Their head coach, Brandon Staley, took the Rams, made them the top defense. They're healthy. Derwin James is back. Joey Bosa. They are ready to go. Don't be surprised they end up being one of the top scoring defenses, the top fantasy defenses in football because of plays like this. Guys getting pressure and the way that Derwin James can play around everything. I expect this defense to be lights out.
I think they might have to be, because I'm saying beware of Justin Herbert. This is his first game in a new offensive system, and it comes again in a very tough matchup against the Washington team that allowed the fewest passing yards per game last year. And in their final 11 games, they allowed just one top 15 quarterback last year. So you could come for me if he has a good game, but I'm saying you could get away from Justin Herbert this week.
Michael F. Florio, would you rather have CD or Amari in this circumstance?
I would rather have CeeDee Lamb. I will say I thought that he was going to be the Cowboys' #1 this year, and it looked like Cooper last night. But Gallup was a threat to take away looks in the red zone and in the end zone, and now I think a lot of those are going to go to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. Michael F. Florio. I got to make sure I say your whole name. I don't want you to get mad at me like Lil Wayne would, but I'll say this. Amari Cooper is the #1 receiver there. He's going to get majority of those targets. He's talked about wanting to be there or feeling that he's the best receiver in the game. And it looked like it last night. I think CeeDee Lamb will benefit from that, as well as some other players down the road.
I think some other names you got to keep in mind, too. We saw a lot of Dalton Schultz in that ballgame, especially early, getting some targets. I know people are still trying to figure out the tight end situation there, but it could be Dalton Schultz and or Blake Jarwin, just to make matters even more confusing.
Yeah, we want pieces of the Dallas offense. I think that's what we've learned, especially after last night. And folks, garbage time, no matter if the points happen, there's still points. They still count. And this is garbage time. We've got one last piece of advice for everybody before Sunday. You first, MJD.
Well, listen, it's week 1. Don't panic. You know, I think sometimes we get a little nervous. Mike Evans, I had him, doesn't go out there and do everything you want to. Relax a little bit. It's going to work itself out. Mike Evans is going to have a big day. If you had Zeke, don't panic. Don't worry about it. But before week 1, I actually panicked, and I offered this trade to our producer, Alex Wilk. And I'm saying now, I'm taking my advice, stop, right? I was nervous. What was going on? I want Michael Thomas, though. For everyone out there, I want Michael Thomas. I don't know how I'm going to get him from Alex, but I can't give up Chris Carson. I can't, even though it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I have another tight end. It's not really that bad. Will, why isn't your picture up there, though? That's the other problem.
Well, I love that Will put that you proposed this trade, and now you're sad about it. So let's ask, as you were going to beg Rank to veto this trade, the Jordan shrug from
there
Will.
He is.
Marcus, should Rank veto this trade?
No, you can't veto trades. It's just not a thing you do. Also, like, well, you gave up Chark and Logan Thomas and Chris Carson. That's hefty.
Yeah, I'm sorry, MJD. I'm anti-vetoes.
Yeah, you picked the wrong.
Florio, I was desperate. What do you want from me? I was like confused. I hadn't slept in a couple of days because I missed the draft, and it was the whole auto computer. It's okay. I'll figure out a way to win the league again. Don't worry. Patrick, I'll be calling you. Do you have Derrick Henry this year?
No, I do not. Florio, okay. In terms of what some advice for people who've made mistakes, like Maurice has.
I would play Sam Darnold over Justin Herbert. I know this isn't call me crazy, but you could call me crazy for this one. But it doesn't matter where you drafted a player anymore. And I know Herbert went rounds before Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold is in a great spot this week, a great matchup. And Justin Herbert is in the exact opposite, a really tough matchup. So I would go with Sam Darnold, but don't call me out if I'm wrong on this one.
Man,
hold on, Florio. Hold on. Florio, you can't say you don't agree with trades and then say something outlandish like that and be like, but don't call me out. Are you kidding me? Herbert, you're telling me Sam Darnold, the turnover machine, over Justin
the new
Herbert.
Sam Darnold in Carolina.
The love for the Trojans has gone away for MJD over the course of the show.
There was no sympathy. There was no empathy for me in my situation when I was desperate and I was down bad. They were just like, we're just going to stick the knife in his back and twist it. I hope Sam Darnold does what he normally does, and I hope Justin Herbert does what he normally does. Then we're going to come back on this show, and I'm going to have a whole thing built out for you.
Wow, that's spicy.
Since you didn't want to veto my trade.
I got a whole thing for people there. If you were waiting on Odell Beckham Jr. or Kenny Golladay, both of them with kind of questionable availability heading up to this week, make yourself a contingency plan. There are some guys out there that are very much available. Bryan Edwards for the Raiders, Sammy Watkins for the Baltimore Ravens, guys who are going to get targets. They're going to be available. OBJ, Kenny Golladay, they're both playing in that late window on Sunday, so you might not have a whole lot of options if neither one of those guys suits up.
And so many teams need contingency plans. And if you are in a position where you don't have to need one, you're good. Don't be a guilty. Let's say you picked up Tyson Williams after J.K. Dobbins went down, and now everybody wants him. He's a hot commodity, but you don't know where to put him in your lineup. You don't have to put him anywhere. You can have him on your bench. Yes, somebody in your league needs him. And yes, you should eventually deal him if you can't find a space for him. But now, it's okay. Don't let them go on national TV and shame you for being successful with your team. Just enjoy your success. And Maurice, I'm sorry, nobody wants to veto your trade. They're
veto
opposed to
the trade.
They're just
veto the trade, Rank. You're the commish. Veto the trade, Rank. I'll call you later.
That's our time for today. We'll be back Monday to recap the best of Week 1 and some disappointments. A full breakdown of the Ravens and Raiders for Monday Night Football. We'll see you on Monday.